All right, Greg and Shreya, we are live. So, hi everyone, welcome back to another stream. Today we have few awesome folks from the Aptos team, Greg from the Aptos Labs team, and Sneha from Aptos Foundation. If I'm not wrong, if I'm not switching both of them. So today, what we are going to see is we are going to see a very fun little app which not we as in myself, but Sneha and Greg will make completely from LLMs, what people are calling vibe coding these days. So yeah, I'll let Greg and Sneha speak more on that. Let what we are going to see, what we are going to build today. But first of all, Greg and Sneha, I would like you both to answer that question. So, Greg, you are from the labs team. Sneha, you are from the foundation team. What's the difference there? So, first, you can just explain that, and then you can go into uh, giving the introduction about yourself or in greeting the audience. So, I'll pass it on to you, Greg, if you want to answer that.
Yeah. So, as with many blockchains and different crypto organizations, labs and foundation are separated for different purposes. But the important thing here is that foundation is a nonprofit that's associated with furthering the value of the network and furthering its reach across the world. It includes supporting different projects, ecosystems, and everything's there. Labs associated is used for building a lot of products on the network and interacting with people, and generally has a lot more of the engineering side there. So we at Labs all came from Facebook pretty much, but that's sort of our
Yeah.
origin stories from Libra and the Facebook stuff. Not to be confused with the Libra meme coin, but that's fun. Um, so that's kind of what the difference there is in the labs and foundation side. The other thing and then I guess I'll just introduce myself too,
Yes.
since I didn't do that. My name's Greg. I'm the head of developer relations at Aptos Labs, and I have also been a founding engineer of Aptos Labs. So I've worked on all pieces of the stack, whether it be from the networking stack of the actual core protocol to other things like the SDKs, the tools, integrations with different partners, and now helping you guys build on Aptos. So that's the important thing to me.
Nice. Sneha, you want to go?
Yeah. So I think, as Greg has rightly pointed out, even though we are working like in different entities, like labs and foundation, our goal as DevRel engineers at Aptos is primarily to support all of the developer audience, and we have been doing that by creating a lot of content pieces that can help you understand how to develop on Aptos and beat any sort of applications, right? And along with that, hosting any sort of sessions, for example this one, uh, trying to get more and more people onto our developer community and initiate conversations. And we usually see this like a lot of ecosystem team members are helping out other new teams which get onboarded. So yeah, that's what you're looking forward to. And we also have a hackathon which is going on right now. So yeah, I mean that's what we do. We help developers out just to build on Aptos.
All right. Thanks for clearing that, by the way. And now, do we want to get into the part where we explain what we are going to build today, and then actually show people how we are going to build it?
Oh yeah, the part where we go and vibe some stuff together, and we make sure that everyone can feel fun about that. We can mess up as much as they do. But
Yeah.
so today, Sneha and I have come up with this idea that we're going to make a Labubu blind box. So
Hmm.
Okay.
very much like Labubu in real life, though I think they're kind of creepy. They do have real blind boxes, so this would be an
Yeah.
on-chain blind box for the purpose of it, and we're going to vibe code it and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
unlike Greg, I don't find them creepy. I do find them cute, maybe a little bit evil. But yeah, that's exactly what Greg has mentioned. This is going to be a blind box in the sense that we are going to use Aptos's on chain randomization to kind of reveal the, like, just like how you actually see the labubu, right? You don't know which one you're getting, and that's the entire fun of that. So that's the whole concept that we are trying to mimic on chain.
Yeah. And the great thing here is because we're using the Aptos on-chain randomness, for other developers who might not be aware, usually when you use randomness on-chain, you have to first go to someone else, they create a VRF, you have to wait some time, and then you can reveal it. Otherwise, people can attack you. So in this case, it's fully on-chain, managed by the validators, um, and as long as you do things just the right way, that you can't necessarily get screwed over by randomness.
Got it.
And you can get
So
attacked.
for yeah, so for people listening and watching, if you are not familiar with this concept, but you might have seen or used Chainlink VRF on different chains, for example, Ethereum, this is exactly that, but natively built into the chain.
Yeah, and not having to wait for any sort of
Exactly.
reveal mechanism.
Well put,
Yeah.
Sahil. Thanks for that.
All right. So, Greg, should I share your screen now? Do you want to get
Let's
into
do
it?
it. Yeah. Okay, so these are some creepy, no, cute Labubus that we sort of generated ahead of time to be able to be in this blind box. I want the deer one. But the important thing here is we're going to go use Cursor and Claude here today, and probably just use every AI tool that I have set up and create a blind box with it. So first, for anyone who maybe hasn't used, one of the things we want to be able to use today is the Aptos MCP. So we build out an MCP server to be able to help integrate with Aptos much easier for vibe coding. And then we're going to replace the URLs that is used with the quick node URLs, because by default it uses Guillaume, but this is a quick node stream. We need to use your amazing service, which I'm sure is great for this specific purpose. And we're going to deploy on testnet today.
Okay.
Yeah, we love quick note, guys. You can also check out the RPCs.
Yeah. Thanks for saying that. I'm flattered.
Yeah, you got to integrate with QuickNode. That's what's important, right? It's QuickNode stream. Okay, so I created a little repo ahead of time for vibe coding. But what I do want to say is when you're in something like Cursor, you can go and add the Aptos MCP. So I've actually added it already here. When you add a MCP server, you can go and add something along like this. It actually needs a bot key to make it a little bit better performance. So what you can do is you can go to guillaume.dev to get a bot key. I know this is for the purposes of right now. And you can go to guillaume.dev/manage/bot keys. And after you've logged in and created, you can sign up, and then you can just create a new key, create vibe codes, success, or whatever we want to name it. And then I'm going to copy this. And in the Aptos MCP, so there are guides on aptos.dev build AI Aptos MCP. And this tells you how to actually integrate with generating a bot key. And also we have support for Claude and Cursor. I've successfully also used it with Warp, and I tried Windsurf and Hero as well, but these ones are the most popular, so we kind of just stuck with that. So I go here to Cursor. And you can see here that it has this configuration with the Aptos bot key in the end. So you guys are all going to look at my screen, so I'm going to revoke this at the end of the session so you guys don't charge a lot to me. Aptos bot key. And then we're going to put one there and say that. Okay. Oops.
And just to add to what Greg is talking about, like there are credits available for all of the builders. And Geomi.dev also has a lot of other features that you can check out if you're planning to build any sort of infrastructure on Aptos. So yeah, I mean, you can copy Greg's key, but you can also create your own for free. So
I forgot that. So I'm still using a beta version of the Aptos MCP. So we're doing it live here today with a much better, more up to date version because it's been so long since I've actually used it. So yes, please get your own key. I will be revoking this after the event. All right.
Yeah.
So now once you got that, you've got an Aptos MCP set up. Perfect. With a bot key that has 22 tools enabled about creating a bunch of different stuff. You can also set it up in Claude similarly as well. I believe I used it right here where I said Claude, MCP add, yes, and so on. The instructions are on the aptos.dev website. All right, great. So now that we've got that set up, we can make our plan with what we want to do. We also have added, let's add in the extra information here, which I think it's not scrolling for me, of the lms.txt. So there's docs here. Oh, not those docs. You need to add indexing and docs. So in particular, I actually already added the Aptos docs, and it'll automatically find the lms.txt and index all of it, and that'll create better context for it. I also indexed a bunch of other stuff, so that way it knows some more information about Aptos as a whole.
Perfect.
Great. All right, we're done with the setup. You know, it only took us a little bit. So now, Sneha, I want you to tell us what we want to make for the plan.
yeah, let's go. Okay, so for the prompt, we basically want a dApp which creates a Labubu reveal application on-chain on Aptos. And we want to prompt it in a way that we want to say that it's going to be like a single page app where there will be a blind box animation which will reveal the Labubu that you can get. And the Labubus will be selected from a list of images that was on the folder that we initially showed you. And in terms of the output, we can expect it to be the front end code files, which will be making use of our Aptos wallet adapter to interact with the blockchain, and a move contract, which will help us to get the randomized ID of which Labubu we want to reveal, and an option to mint it later as an NFT.
Okay.
Um,
So while you're writing the prompt, Greg, so Sneha, is this app or is the docs for are the docs for this specific app available anywhere, or will it be available in future?
oh, of course, of course.
Okay.
After we build this out, right now we're just vibe coding and just like going with it. So let's see how it turns out. But we will definitely share a GitHub later so that people can just reference that and build their own as well.
I have a GitHub repo that's set up for it, so we're going to commit as we
Perfect.
go and see how it goes. So this is what I've got right now. Single page app to make a Labubu reveal on Aptos using Aptos randomness, using Aptos wallet app to connect Aptos wallets, including Aptos Connect. An option to, or let's see, let's just make the Boo-Boos should all be NFTs and use the images from the Boo-Boos folder. Anything else that we wanted to tell to go along with? Use TypeScript.
I think we should mention that there will be a blind box animation which will reveal the Labubu.
Yeah. Put this all into a maybe I should put this all into a plan first. All into a plan D first.
So I
Yeah.
guess Greg was okay. Greg was telling me about this, I think yesterday or so, that before we actually start coding out in terms of like the actual code, we should first like create a proper PRD and then pass it so that you get a much better prompt and then code it out. And
Yeah.
we have, yeah, go ahead.
And all of them have, all the tools now have these to-do lists, which is a lot better than they used to be. So usually I try to make a plan, and then at least that means when you change the plan and set the context, it usually has some more to hold it against, rather than just complete free vibing all over the place.
Yeah, so that it cannot miss a step or something. But
Yeah, we don't want to spend like a lot of time later debugging the code. It's much, much better to just write a good plan.
Yeah. And
definitely.
it's already made a plan here. Let me hide this. Where it's saying like I want Aptos wall integration is using randomness with the on-chain randomness, blind box animation, NFT collection, type safety. So it already like it obviously it picked like to use React. You should remove animations using Vite along the way. So that's, and then it has using the Aptos digital asset standard, which is our NFT standard, and then minting with the random trade assignment. That's fine. We'll let it go for the now. And then it says there's 18 Labubus, which is the number of pictures we have.
Hmm.
Okay.
And then it goes in some steps here about like create, initialize some information, whatever else. So what we want to do is tell it, can you use create Aptos dApp to initialize the project instead of just Vite. And the reason for this is create Aptos dApp is our templating system, and it'll allow us to have a full wallet adapter fully set up instead of the AI trying to figure out how to do it and messing up along the way.
Got it. And at this point, the LLM must have all the information related to create Aptos dApp, right? Because you have already indexed the docs too.
And it's also in the Aptos MCP. So
Oh, okay.
the Aptos MCP handles looking at create Aptos dApp and being able to things here. I don't know, it's printing something before it calls create Aptos dApp, whatever.
And builders, I think you should also check out this create Aptos dApp in general. It's just like a single command, npx create Aptos dApp, and it just asks you what kind of template you want. So you can choose like boilerplate, NFT minting, token minting, staking, Telegram, whatever you want, and it'll just create the entire thing for you, front end, back end, everything. So if you have some understanding, you can just go ahead and edit the files, and you can get what you want out of it. It's much, much faster, especially when you're building in hackathons.
So it looks like it decided to initialize an npm because create Aptos dApp isn't working with. And this is what happens when you try to ask AI to do something, is sometimes it just messes up for no reason. And it's like, fine, let's just do it manually. But we'll
Yeah.
see. Like create Aptos dApp does normally work for me. So who knows? Maybe I asked it to do too much. We'll see. And then like silly things you can do is you can be like, can you verify the plan, the MD, and see if it makes sense?
Mhm.
Am I missing anything? Don't make mistakes. I got to make sure to get the don't make mistakes joke.
Lot of pressure on AI not to make mistakes.
Well, I actually tried that. So like, like the you seen the memes of the don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried building something and I just said don't make mistakes after every single time, and actually, it turned out okay. Surprisingly.
I'm imagining if you raise a child like that, what would that be like?
Yeah. So like what they thought is I didn't think about CI/CD, which we don't care about for the purpose of this. Testing strategy, performance optimization. So this is talking about legal and compliance. Let's not talk about that as we're talking about Labubus. So I think none of those seem like they're things that we really care about for the purposes of this
Yeah.
demo. And all right, so it looks like we have a React app. So let's see if we can get it running. Here is the Okay. Oh, I should have. So I generally use PNPM instead of NPM just because it's a little bit faster. And for the purposes of our case here, it's going to be a little bit nicer where it's going to be a little faster. All right.
Let's see what we have so far.
Well, nothing because in my browser it doesn't work. So that's fun. All right. So why doesn't web server start up correctly? Because it says it's starting on 5173, and
Mhm.
I can show you guys the host 73, and there's nothing. So let's see what happens when we do this. Sometimes it figures it out. We're missing the we're missing the entry files. Okay, so I think we're gonna go down a fun path day, guys. So how many of these like vibe coding sessions have you done, Sahil?
I think the vibe coding session, this for the vibe coding session, this is the first one. What we usually do is people have something to showcase. People have either sample apps or something which they have already created, or they want to showcase a new feature or something like that, and they come up and show the sample app which they have created using that new feature, some sort of those things. But this is the first vibe coding session that we are even doing. So yeah, even I'm very excited and just following along with you, just looking at your screen.
Well, so if it doesn't get anywhere, I'll show an app that I built for a event that was vibe coded. At least the front end was,
Okay.
and that'll give us something similar in this case.
But I think that's the beauty or drawback, or more of a
Yes.
beauty of vibe coding, right? Like you actually run into issues what developers would run into while they are doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels a little bit like improv in the sense that it's just very random, whatever is supposed to
Yeah.
happen. You just like go along with it.
Yeah. I think I'm just going
Which
to
is
run create Aptos app by myself here. So, use, uh, create
Like
Aptos.
Sahil mentioned, I think a lot of people would love to see your process on how you do the vibe coding part and how you give
Oh yeah.
prompts and all.
So I'm trying this new just by doing it completely straight, vibe coding straight. But normally, what I would do is I'd run nps create Aptos app to create the app.
Hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
and the reason for that is I'm not super trustworthy of AI coding. Sometimes it doesn't do what you want. So like I'm gonna put demo, I'm gonna pick myself a full stack project here, and I'm gonna pick a boilerplate printer. Though we do have a minting collect. Maybe we'll do the minting collection dApp to see how it goes. And then testnet, I don't want an API key, and then oops, I hit the wrong thing. Demo, no. And this is a little slow is the only problem. And that might be what the AI was probably not waiting long enough in order to make it. So what you'll see here is it'll download a bunch of stuff. This is the way Create Aptos app is supposed to work. And we're going to use this instead because clearly we went down a wrong path by asking it to do it itself. And you can see here we have things like contract, we have a front end, and then all the things about like linting and things that you just want for an application. As you can see now, we're ready to go. And we should be good to go. Okay, so now using the demo folder as the website, reevaluate the plan and fix it to work with the thing website. Let's see how it goes. Sometimes there's mild success by doing this. Sometimes not. So I actually built a couple tools, Vibecoding, for checking a couple things like at work, like being able to check if the dependencies are correct, managing the Aptos docs, translated all the Aptos docs to Spanish with
Nice.
Cursor. And the translations aren't the best, but I think it does lead to a little bit better understanding for people to have something that's okay translated, but they don't have to switch their brain rather than that.
Got it.
Plus you don't have time to translate all of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like 80% of it is good so that people can fill in the remaining 20 or something there. But Greg, like what are the different models that we are using here? Like I can see your right panel and I can see the Claude Code working. So what models do you use and why do you choose them?
Yeah, so this is Claude Code. I use Sonnet 4 on Claude Code, and the reason being it's the cheapest, but also the most accurate that I got. Like Opus, I don't really want to wait for Opus to run, to be honest. And then I have actually gotten something where I've gotten to needing the 1 million context, but the 1 million context is more expensive as well, so I kind of avoid that. In Cursor, actually, I've been liking Grok Code Fast 1. It costs some money, though, which is kind of annoying. But you can see how fast it can do things. So let's say change the demo website to be, I don't know, pick a theme. What are we going to do? Google themes, I guess. Let's see what happens when it... So we're going to do this. You can see how quick it thinks.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
I don't know how well it's going to do, but it is fast, right? Like this is doing a lot of things, but it's taking a lot longer. This is just going instant.
Yeah, this is actually my first time seeing someone use Grok Code, and this is actually very fast. So I
I
think
only used it because was it like a week or two ago? It was free for like a week.
Got
oh,
it.
okay.
And what's the accuracy level compared to Sonnet for the Grok Code model, Grok Code Fast model?
I mean, they say it's similar, but it's one of those things I'm not sure if I believe it. So you can see here, it's already added in the little boo-boos. It actually has your name, Sneha, because I guess it was listed on the stuff. And look at that, like put the little boo-boos. Oh, that's cute.
Cutie.
Look, you're the artist.
Ah, I'm flattered.
It just makes up some stuff to fill in. What is a Labubu Sneha? Look at that.
No. Rename this collection, Greg.
And this was by the Grok model, or this was generated by the Sonnet model, which is still working.
The Sonnet model, I just told it just to figure out the functionality on the website, but the actual making it look Grok. With this was Grok, so that was pretty fast. I noticed it seems to have stuck the Twitter logo everywhere. Maybe that's spilled into the like these have Twitters and this is a Twitter. Maybe that's part of the Grok stuff. But the rest of this website is built from Create Aptos dApp, so it's actually automatically set up for creating a website for NFT collection, and you can make something that's simpler as well. And it even has this sign up here as well. So it has, I can connect with my Aptos Connect wallet, and then hooray, I can mint them when the mint is enabled, but it's saying that this collection ID is not set.
It looks very clean.
This was very fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is complaining about something else. I think because I might be running the server still here. No, it's dead. Huh. So sometimes, AI gets wrong. This guy is like, oh, I've got working now in the 5175, so it started up like 3 different servers. Oh, because this is running here. Really, I think the main thing that's missing here is the amount of space that we can talk. So what this is then doing is it's talking about trying to update this existing contract. So we have a contract here, and this contract manages a minting protocol. So we actually have set it up already for people to be able to make NFT minting collections. But I don't believe it does random mints. I think it does minting as a whole. Yeah, so there's no randomness in here.
Yeah.
So I might ask Grok to do it instead of Claude because it's taken too long and I'm being impatient.
And the launchpad.move is the default contract that comes in create Aptos dApp, or it is generated by Claude?
No, this is actually from Create Aptos dApp. And Claude right now is trying to figure out how to make some changes to it.
Yeah.
It looks like, but it's also talking about, yeah, so now it's like trying to find adding randomness for the blind box reveal. It had to first review all the code. So now this one is generated by Claude.
Okay.
And let's see how it did. This is nice. This is nice and formatted and ordered by grouping. We love that. It has some constants. That's also good. Here we can see this is an event on Aptos. So this is about sending events to be able to be indexed and things like that. And we see it has store and drop, which is a good sign. And it talks about how it's been revealed. Has some on-chain state. This is not the greatest of choices, but there's only 18 of them, so that's okay. And then you can see there's some suggestions from the Aptos IDE plugin, which is called, I think, Move on Aptos. And it actually tells you how you can clean up things to make it a little bit nicer looking. So this is what we call Move 1, the original version of Move.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not going to make it fixed in chat because that's going to just be too much work. Variant counts.add. And you can see here, it now looks like any other language that you want. So this is, instead of looking like what we would normally call a C style call, it's now it just changed it back. Claude changed it back for me. Yeah.
Yeah, but this plugin is
still working on it.
It does a lot of fixes as well, just by if you just set it up in your ID.
Yeah. So now it's saying it's recognizing that the Vite creator collection, which is how the Create Aptos dApp is set up, it's setting an address that doesn't make any sense, but that's fine. That's how AI works. Just to make sure that works. And then it's going to build a blind box reveal animation UI. And we might have to fix some stuff manually here.
Can we go to the move code, Greg, and just look at the randomness part, like where it has added that?
Yeah. So we can go back to the randomness here, and then, oops. Keyboard's typing random characters, randomness. So it made up some stuff that doesn't work correctly, as with AI can do. So it created this function here for randomness and randomness bytes. Randomness bytes, unfortunately, well, actually, that is one, but then it is pulling out one of them in it, and there's no reason for that. So we're gonna fix this manually ourselves. So random index equals randomness U64 range 0 to 18. That'll be a lot easier there. So this says
Yep.
I can get one of the 18, and that can be set up that way. You can also do this. Make it a little bit cleaner, where now we don't have that giant borrow. And now that I'm cleaning up some code along the way, it is empty. And I would definitely suggest if you do try to do some coding on Aptos, check out the Move on Aptos extension, because it gives a lot of this highlighting, search of existing libraries, and it makes the coding much easier. You can also learn, you can see the documentation that's generated actually from the Aptos framework. And if you want, you can actually go to the definition and it'll take you into the actual source code.
Yeah.
Aptos. I'm not going to show it right now because there's not enough space on the screen, but that's how it goes. Cool. All right. Let's see how Claude is doing. All right.
Still working on UI.
No, I think it stopped. So build
Okay.
the blind box reveal animation. We're going to do that while we tell Grok to go check over my randomness contract and see if it can tell me anything about it. How are we doing on time?
We're doing good on time. We have a couple, plenty of. I think we have more than 20 minutes or somewhere around 20 minutes. It's okay. We can go over.
25 minutes.
Honestly, I think this is pretty good.
Yeah, I think so as well. Once we have this animation ready, I think we can just maybe try integrating one front end call, and that should be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope Claude doesn't change the contract code while making the animation code.
Yeah, that's why usually when you say don't do anything else, I mean, like, this thing is saying, like, I looked at the smart contract updates, it's great. I'm like, well, why are you doing that? I told you to build an animation. Yeah.
Greg, I think this session is not just vibe coding. It's like you're pitting two different AIs against each other, and you're gonna see which performs better.
Anthropic versus Elon, who wins? Okay.
So it looks like Grok is trying to change code.
Yeah, so I told it to review it, and it looks like it's changing a lot of things. Almost too much for me to go and figure out what it's doing. So I wonder why it's doing that, though. So we may have to pit the. We might have to undo all this, and then I just production rate is 9.5. Okay. I like how it put the stars, though. It doesn't have a half star. So. Okay, well, what we're going to do here, so as with everything, if you're trying to do anything vibe coding, I suggest that you check it yourself. So we're going to do Aptos move compile and see how this goes.
This is, by the way, through the Aptos CLI, which you folks can set it up on your system using our docs.
And it did not work the way that we wanted it to because it's using a contract that I don't want it to use. Okay, well, fun. I think we're going to have to live fix this myself. And then let's undo all these ones. Okay, so what I did was I removed one of the dependencies because one of the dependencies is missing, and it just added in as it went. And then now it's complaining about these. So
what you see over here.
No, I was just gonna say, Greg, you undid entire Grok's work. Like, what about the 9.5 score now?
Oh, it's only like 8 now.
Okay.
Oh man.
Sneha, sorry,
I
you were
So
saying something?
go ahead.
yeah, I was just saying that if you see, we have passed the dev flag when we're trying to compile. So that's the reason if you see Greg is currently adding under dev addresses and he's going to add some dev dependencies as well. That's the error that we ran into, that it was not able to find that particular dependencies for the dev mode. So yeah.
Okay, so we don't
That's
need this one. Token. Okay, so now we're getting to the place that we expect, and it's a bunch of stuff made up. We're gonna delete the one that create Aptos dApp made, and we're gonna only stick with the one that. Nope, I don't want you to do that. I don't think Grok is working with the Aptos MCP quite the way that we wanted it to. So in this case, we can see a bunch of warnings. That's fine, and then we're seeing an unknown thing. So usually this is when I would go on command click on it. We're going to delete this and see how far we can get.
Yeah,
I'm
can we
sorry,
revert
these
to the
screens
first
are
one?
really small, so I'm just going to, how do I close this one? Oh. We're going to live code then. Let's fix it. I don't know what that is. Delete all those warnings. Okay. So now we've got the code here. This is going from live coding to vibe coding to Greg coding.
Yeah, Grok model is fast, but Grek model is more accurate.
Yeah. So here we need a function here. This should not be public. This should be randomness. Entry function here. Oh, this is, so the only problem with this here is it has a int random labubu. So this is meant for a minting of an NFT that is controlled by a admin signer.
Okay.
However, that's not going to work very well for us
Mhm.
unless we're minting it directly to people. And then it's returning some values, which is also not the most fun. So I think there's a lot of problems with this contract that the vibe coding has made. So I'm going to instead go and show you guys an existing project. At this point, we can vibe something on it. I'm sorry, Sneha, it didn't work out quite the way we wanted it to.
Yeah, I think no worries here. It will definitely take some time. While you do that, Greg, while you pull it up, I would love to show like maybe what we were expecting the end result to be. I have not kind of added the Labubu itself to it because we coded it later. I'm not sure if you can see my screen or not.
1 second. Yep. So, yep, Sneha, we can see your screen.
Yeah, so what we were going for was something similar to this, that basically anyone can connect the wallet and this will be like the Petra wallet, and they can just like click on the reveal Labubu, which can basically take any amount of tokens, which will basically lead to our Petra popping. I'm not sure if it is showing or not. But yeah, we have this contract which is like doing a reveal Labubu, and we can just like go ahead and approve this. Yeah, so this is like a rare Labubu. I've forgotten to link it to the IPFS or like wherever you want to host your image. But yeah, you can just like then go ahead and basically like mint that particular like NFT that you want to. So that's basically the contract. Um, we will definitely create like a GitHub. Like we already have a GitHub. I'll just push some details there so you can check it out. And I think Greg will now continue with a game that is also vibe coded. So yeah, I'll
Yeah.
stop sharing.
Or
Okay, so here's my little game that I created earlier with some vibe coding. So the approach, like I said earlier, is usually what I will do is I will run the create Aptos dApp to create the boilerplate, and then change either the contract stuff myself, either in smaller pieces rather than I'll just build something large, because that's when things start to go awry if I don't have the
Yeah.
template and the framework for it. And
Mhm.
then from there, I will add it to the front end in a couple pieces, and then vibe code it to make it look pretty. So in this case, I actually vibe coded this to said make it look like the Matrix, and then I gave it a picture of at the event we had these beige and black bandanas, and I gave it a picture of that, and it gave me this beige and black Matrix event. So I said like, hey, let's log in with Aptos Connect so I can sign in with Google, and then I had a little game here where you can roll the dice as well, but it seems to be connected to DevNet and not to TestNet. It's supposed to be connected to TestNet. So we can turn it to TestNet.
Yeah. So what happens, builders, is basically like when we are on DevNet, it kind of resets the contracts. So then that history kind of gets removed. So which might have led to this. And if you're on testnet and if you deploy a contract, it's always there. So yeah, continue, Greg.
Yeah. The other thing is like where I posted it. I put the contract on TestNet. I never put it on DevNet.
Oh,
So
okay.
so in this case, we have a little game here where you can roll the dice. You have a little pop up, prove, and then the game works in this way where you roll the dice, and every time you roll a 1, you lose all your points, but everything else adds up, and you just have adds up in the score. You can kind of roll it along, and it uses on-chain randomness in the same way that the Labubu limitation would work.
Yeah.
And then you can just try to get to a higher score on the way. It's a silly little game. We try to find a one-player game, which is apparently pretty hard to find. Well, I actually use this as a vibe coding challenge. So I provided the front end, and then you can see here that there's a contract address. Let me make this bigger. So there's a contract address, and then this let anyone paste in their contract, and then you could verify against by using the front end, and we use all the same calls. So I had a template. A lot of people out of that event actually just basically took all the requirements I told them about how the game works and pasted into Cursor, and then it gave them a contract, which was pretty amazing.
Greg, we should also do that with this one. What do you think? We can just put the front end and we can ask people to submit their randomness NFT contract.
Yeah, we can do that. Keeping in mind, I already uploaded a fully working example, but you can actually do that as well. So let's go to our hack. So there's actually a website, Hack and Hang, June 2025 for Vercel.app. And this is publicly hosted. You guys will go and drain my Vercel bill, whatever. And this lets you just paste in whatever contract you have as long as it's on testnet, and you can fully interact with your own wallet at any time. And you can actually go and work with that. So then there is this Aptos Labs Hack and Hang June 2025. It has a whole list. Let me make it bigger. It has a whole list of how the game works and challenge requirements. Unfortunately, we gave out a prize. We're not going to give out the prize anymore for this, but it shows you like how like everything's organized, how you can format it, everything along, and you can visit the website and get some funds from Faucet. It provides learning resources, and all you have to do here is there's this pit game folder here, and we provide a contract that has basically a boilerplate template.
Yeah.
So the interface that you have to implement. So you say like implement how to roll the dice, implement how to do testing, holding, completing, whatever for the game associated. And then at that point you can have a whole little game to play with in the front end. And you just
Yeah,
deploy
and
it to a contract.
yeah, and the function names are the same so that it matches the front end, so you cannot modify those.
Yeah,
Uh,
as,
we
as
can
long as you
we
don't
can
change
create,
these.
yeah, we can create something similar for the Labubu contract is what I was suggesting earlier. So we can just give them a placeholder input for like the contract address, and they can just submit their own Labubu NFT random generator code or something.
Yeah. So now I just need to make it like have Labubus falling instead of having characters falling.
The Matrix.
Yeah. Have
But
Labubus.
I really like that design, by the way, Greg. I think I've also told you earlier, but it looks pretty cool.
Well, so like when I did it, I was like, what is something that I know that AI can figure out how to do, like very obviously? And I was like, okay, I can do the matrix. That's really simple. It's really easy. And then I just made sure it wasn't green, so it wasn't so hacker. Okay, so it's saying falling pig themed animation because it doesn't have any pig in this one. All right. Rename Matrix Rain to Labubu's Rain.
To Labubu. Okay.
I mean, we gotta have fun, guys, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And it crashed. All right. Let's start it up again and see. Sometimes it needs to. Okay, so it attempted to make pigs, and it just has question marks.
Yeah, I think we have to give it the image.
Yeah, maybe it's trying to find the, yeah, that's what it is, I guess.
Let's see. Let me. I have a few minutes. Let me get the Labubu's folder in here. Use the Labubu images in the public/Labubu's folder. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Grok is really good for these kind of things then, right?
I think it's really fast for doing something that it's very simple, but
Yeah.
I think really AI is best for like, I know what I want to do and I can describe how to do it and it's simple, but when you tell it to go do something really large and really complicated,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily going to do quite as well.
Yeah.
I like, look at that. Like you can see the Labubus.
Oh, okay. There are Labubus.
Oh. Can
Actually, that's pretty cool. That's way better than I expected it to be.
Can
that?
we make them a bit bigger or something? Because it's
Yeah, let's see. Make the Labubus bigger.
okay.
Bigger. There we go.
Hey. Looking nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But yeah, otherwise, so like the great thing about like building something like this on Aptos, of course, Vibecoding went maybe not the greatest as we expected it to be, but the ability to have like the on-chain randomness, the NFTs are there. We didn't show them today, and the ability to do things like really quickly, like as if you're probably not noticing because it's too fast. Where'd my mouse go? When I click this roll dice button, I click approve, it's less than a second for it to like give me a response. So it's really fast. I'm sure if I used quick nodes in here, which I can go tell it to go and use quick node instead, it's probably be even faster. But it's just being able to do things like that in real time, especially if you have, you can use, we call Aptos keyless to be able to have a no approval experience. So you can have where I click everything and I don't have to click these approval buttons. But otherwise, there's also this Aptos Connect. I have too many NFCs in there. I don't want to show that. So what we call Aptos Connect here is basically a keyless wallet. So it uses some zero knowledge proofs, and it lets you sign with Google or Apple and then use it across all applications. So like if you're familiar with like Privy or things like that, it's similar, except it's actually got a different security model, and also it lets you use it across all applications. Because if you ever use like Privy on an app, you can only use it on that app, and then you can't use it on another one. And that's like really annoying because now it doesn't necessarily go across multiple places. But in this case, I can go use this on this app. I can go use it on like an NFT swap or like a DEX aggregator or whatever you name it.
Yeah, and like just to add to what Greg is talking about, you can make use of our sponsored transactions as well. So the users can just have like an experience of like playing a normal Web2 game. It might actually even be faster than playing a normal Web2 game at times. Like it's like a no required wallet onboarding journey. You can just have uh, sponsor transactions for your users, no approval, nothing, and you can just build out a complete application out of it. And people don't like even need to know that it's on blockchain, right? So that's what we are going for. There is one element which is the performance in terms of throughput latency, and the second element which is in terms of the experience of using it overall. So it's really and for builders as well, the dev experience, which we have been working towards on how we can simplify it as much as possible.
Yeah. And if you ever want to know more about Aptos, there's always aptos.dev, which we maintain, that has documentation about all kinds of different things on Aptos, the tools and the smart contracts and things like that.
And we have a very exclusive Telegram community. And this is like, I think maybe not for everyone, but these are for people who are serious about building on Aptos. So if you are one of them, then you can definitely DM any of us, reach out to us, and we will definitely add you there. And it's like a bunch of all of the ecosystem people, developers who are just like helping each other out. And you will probably get like a response in less than an hour from any of us about how you can go about your issue. So
Yeah. And the community there is pretty helpful as
yeah.
well. And the only reason we keep it so exclusive is to keep out the spam and bots and make sure that we can keep it as a community that's truly open, and we don't have to like have moderators or like there's all the like onboarding like bots that you have in like Discord and Telegram, which then you have to deal with like people like, oh, like the bot kicked me out, and I have to figure out what's going on. Yeah. Cool.
So, yeah, Greg, that's I really liked Aptos Connect a lot. Like where it's just like Preview, but you do not have to create a different wallet for the like each and every app. So, just wanted to understand, like, is it? I'm assuming like it's completely non-custodial,
Yes.
and does it have inbuilt recovery mechanism?
So their Aptos Connect today does not if you lose access to your Google account. However, they're talking about adding, you can do basically a multi-sig where it is the Aptos Connect and any other key. So you have a recovery phrase or recovery key that would let you be able to recover that at any time. Additionally, like the thing is, it's a much better way where you can recover with your Google account. And for the average user, they lose their key or they lose their seed phrase or whatever because they threw it out in the trash. So being able to go and like deal with the normal way that you log it, like get an account recovery, Google's much easier. Of course, with the caveat that, like you're saying, like, all right, if Google takes down your account, then you have to deal with that. But it's just a much easier experience to use for the average user.
Yeah, and that's very
No,
unlikely
definitely.
that people will lose access to their Google account as well.
And no one can tell what your account is on chain.
Yeah.
They can't tell what your email is on chain. It looks like any other keyless account. And the reason for that is use a zero knowledge proof of your Google login, so no one can tell what it is.
Yeah, and in that direction, while we're talking about it, we are also moving into building out confidential payments. So there has been a lot of ongoing ZK work internally with the research team as well on at Aptos. So that's, I believe, like a very interesting feature for us as well.
Yeah.
So confidential payments, they'll be like private transactions, something like that.
So the way that confidential transactions work are you basically hide your balance. So you put your money into, um, so you put your money into a black box, and everyone has the same black box. So when you take the money out, then you know how much you're taking out. But all the
Okay,
transactions in between, you don't necessarily know. But you can
understood.
verify that the transactions happened, and then you can also, in the event of compliance purposes, do some auditing on it to tell.
And
Understood.
that can be easily like a couple of $1 million business that you can build on Aptos. So that's just an idea to start building.
Alrighty, then I guess we are towards the end or at the end. So, so if whoever or all the people who are watching, if y'all have any questions related to Aptos, MCP server, anything on Aptos Dev or just Aptos in general, feel free to ask those questions right now. Greg and Sneha will be more than happy to answer those questions. I mean, I'm just saying that, but I know they'll be more than happy to answer those questions. And on on the docs part, you can find each and everything, whatever we saw today on this link, aptos.dev. So you can just go there, like find all the SDKs, all the tools, the MCP server, and everything in there. So we'll just wait for 2 more minutes or 1 more minute to see if we have any questions from people. And in the meantime, Craig and Sneha, do you want to share anything else to our audience or people who are watching us?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a hackathon going on right now. So it's a global hackathon. It ends October 3rd. You're still, I think you can still enter it if you want. Um, it's based on finance, payments, and systems like that. So check it out. It's on Dora Hacks under the Control Move Hackathon as well. And additionally, uh, we have our conference coming up at Aptos Experience in New York next month. So not, I guess it's soon. It's next month. It's October, right around the mainnet uh, anniversary of Aptos. So if you're in New York, please check it out. And I'm also be at Token 2049 if you guys want to ask me anything as well there.
Yep, and just to add to what Greg just mentioned, I'm also going to share this link of a scholarship that can enable a lot of people to attend Aptos experience as well. And this is exclusively for builders just like you. Let me share that. And I guess also another thought I want to share is that this vibe coding session was fun. And I would love to know if you folks want us to build something next on Aptos Move. We would love to do that. So do send us like some ideas that we can build.
100%. And while Sneha is getting that link to scholarship, you can check out the hackathon link, which is on screen right now. So, as Greg mentioned, it goes on until 3rd October, if I'm not wrong, if I remember
Yeah,
that correctly.
I think it's the
So,
third. I think so.
yeah. So you can just participate in the hackathon, and obviously hackathons are a really great way to get into a ecosystem. And if you're already into ecosystem, getting to know other teams who are building in that ecosystem, and plus getting incentivized for building what you are building.
Absolutely, Sahil. Um, and I think for this hackathon, I'm just gonna just maybe just talk a little bit about our I think new offering in terms of like people building on DeFi is basically this product that we have been developing internally inside of Aptos Labs, which is Decibel. Maybe Greg, you want to talk a little bit more about it?
Yeah, Decibel is, I mean, so there's two major projects that are coming out of Aptos right now, or building on Aptos. One is Decibel, so that's building a perpstex that is, or just basically a perpstex and other things associated with that in the future that are in using a centralized order book on chain. And because of the high throughput and low latency of Aptos, it's a perfect place to have that kind of on-chain global trading engine that lets you lets you trade on chain in a fully on-chain and visible way. And that also led to a bunch of great, exciting new things that are coming up, like function values and sponsored transactions. Oh, sorry, not sponsored transactions, scheduled transactions. So being able to basically schedule your transactions that you want to run in the future, and then it'll run automatically in the future. And then the other major thing that we're building is Shelby, which is a hot storage layer on top of Aptos and other things. Yeah, I know, right? Can't wait for Shelby. That one's going to be super exciting, being able to build things like decentralized storage that lets you stream and have the incentivization properly there. Because today we have mostly cold storage, or really cold storage. Like if IPFS, if you unpin it, it just disappears, or Arweave, you have to wait for forever, and all of them like really expensive or just take forever, or both. So the fact that we can have the high speed storage and actually have the performance, have the it like competitive with AWS and high speed, that's going to be amazing. And yeah, Ziki, AWS on chain. That's my real origin story, because I used to work at AWS there.
Awesome,
All
Greg.
right. I'm just gonna share the link to the scholarship.
Yeah, awesome. And I just wanted to add, for our hackathon as well, there are a lot of DeFi products that we are looking to be built in terms of once Decibel also goes on DevNet and live, and all of you can access it. And the idea here, as Greg also mentioned, is this is something which is kind of the blockchain has been designed in a way to support this. So it's very native to the blockchain, the design. And that's why we believe that this is going to be a trading infrastructure which can kind of unify liquidity across the Aptos ecosystem and also bring in liquidity from other chains. So we are looking for innovative DeFi applications that can be built here, and also around Shelby. I mean, yeah, kind of all of the protocols right now kind of don't make any sense, at least for storage in Web3. And I mean, we don't want to do Web2, right? So yeah, this is where we are at.
Yeah, gotta stay decentralized, guys.
Yeah, and I've shared I'm showing up a shortened link to the tweet about this Builder Scholarship for Aptos Experience, and it's also linked in the Twitter live stream. You can find it commented in the Twitter live stream. So for people who are watching us, you can just go to this link qn.social/aptosexp, and you'll find the tweet which has all the information around how you can apply to the Aptos Builder Scholarship to attend Aptos Experience.
Thanks, Sahil. What would we do without Sahil? Just helping us and share more information.
I mean, just trying to be a good host. That's what it is. Yeah. So I guess I mean, the people do not have any questions, and I think I do see that people did enjoy a lot. People are waiting for Shelby. They are very eager about Shelby as well. So if I can see that there are no questions left, so if that is it, we can conclude here. Greg, Sneha, any closing notes?
Build an Aptos, but you make sure you spend some time to go and use QuickNode for building an Aptos.
Yeah,
for sure.
Happy building it.
Thank you so much, Greg and Sneha, for joining us.
Thanks,
Bye, guys.
Sahil, for hosting us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.